Imagine waking up after brain surgery and it was a success. Till the last day of the surgery, you thought you were going to die, but you survived. So, what do you do next? You find out that a lot of people have donated for you to be alive. A lot of people you know, your friends, your relatives, your mother, your father, your colleagues, hell, even your ex-girlfriend who has child with health issues. She also chipped in and donated money for you. And thanks to all of them, you're alive. What will you do next? What will your way of thinking be like? What would you think about, and how would you process all this information? But let's go back in time prior to the surgery. 3 months prior to the surgery, you are in Italy and your mother-in-law passes away. She passes away because of cancer, and then she passes away in terrible pain, and she dies a sudden death and a painful death. How would you react to that? How would your wife, how would your wife's mental health be? And I saw my mother-in-law pass away. It was a slow and painful death because it took uh, cancer took her life for about 3 years. And thank God that I had a remote job at the time and we could travel from Moldova to Italy. And thank God this old nightmare with COVID and stuff was still on, but because of our policies and because of our corruption, we were able to travel and see her in the last months of her life. Now let's go another 2 years, 1 year prior to this event. My son was discovered to have well, before my son discovered diverticulum. I don't know if you guys know what it is, but I could have lost him. And the only reason I didn't lose him is because another 6 months prior to this event, he had invagination, or I don't know the term in English, but he had another problem and he got into hospital. Because of this, his life was saved, but he also was in a terrible in he had terrible pains, and he would vomit with blood. And our doctors saved his life. In my case, the Turkish doctors saved my life, but they did it for a price. In my mother-in-law's case, she wasn't saved, but she was taken care in Italy, and Italy has free Medicare, and the only reason she left Moldova is because if she wouldn't, she would probably not even be alive for the 3 years that we have spent with her in Italy. In Moldova, my son had two surgeries. They were free and X free because we still had to pay the doctors and we still had to give bribes. And haven't we done so, he would be dead. So in all of these cases, money is involved. And what point I'm trying to bring. The thing I wanted to say is we need free medical care, and we need it urgently. And I don't mean in just one particular country, because I thought of this and I thought of this many times. What would have happened to us if we were born, for example, in some poor country like Nigeria, for example, or I don't know, Zimbabwe? What would have happened to me? What would have happened to my child? And what uh, would have happened to my mother-in-law? And these events kind of sparked in me the idea that we need universal medical care. It doesn't matter like what's your income, and it doesn't matter what's it should be global and it should be free. And I don't know how can this be achieved. I have no idea, but I know that this is a necessity. And I'll talk to you more about what my ideas were at first and what I'm currently thinking. But for today, that's it. That's the whole point I was going to make.